94.3 The Ox, King George, and True. Easy come, easy go on your Monday ride. 8:30 now, time for Coffee Talk, brought to you by the Comanche Chamber of Commerce and Agriculture. Check them out at hashtag Explore Comanche, Texas. As we say good morning, welcome in as always on Monday with Hope Counseling.
I'm Cynthia Newton. Do you know who I am today?
I totally went blank for a second. I saw something out the window and it totally distracted me. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Forgot who was in here.
It's okay. I know I look a little different, just a little sunburned, but that's okay.
Now, why would you be sunburnt? What were you out doing this weekend?
Well, we had rodeos.
Oh,
we
man.
had swimming, and then, boys being boys.
What's your mini report on the rodeo and the mutton busting?
You know what? I was a proud mom. It was a proud mom moment. So This was only Quanah's 5th ride, and he did excellent. He got 4th, made a 73. I was so excited.
Yeah, I saw that posted on your Facebook.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking. Yeah.
I like seeing the older brothers in the chute, helping him out, getting him rigged up.
They were all
kid.
standing over, looking out for him. So next week we're on to blanket.
And poker goes up out there.
And
We'll be talking bull riding this time next week.
That's exactly right. Danny Armstrong will be giving me a hard time next week about counseling on Sunday. So.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no kidding. But do you know what today is?
Juneteenth.
That is correct. So I'm actually going to talk about Juneteenth and its effect on mental illness. If you really think about that, it's kind of an interesting thing to think about.
Have to do with the temperature?
Okay, we're not going to talk about that because, it's hot. We just know it's hot. It's very hot. Anyway, so for anybody who doesn't know what Juneteenth is, on June 19th, 1865, the Union soldiers arrived in Galveston to announce that the war was over and that slavery had ended. However, slavery still existed and not all slaves were freed immediately. Since its inception, slavery in this country has had a negative psychological and emotional impact on black families and communities. Millions of families were split up by slavery historically and systematically throughout the United States. Black Americans still experience generational racial trauma, generational identity loss, and the associated mental health issues today. So based on the national details gathered by the American Psychological Association, people from racial and ethnic minority groups are less likely to receive mental health care.
Okay.
In 2015, they found that among adults with a mental illness, 48% of white people received mental health services compared to 31% of black and Hispanic people and 22% of Asians. Care providers are much more likely to diagnose black American clients with schizophrenia and overlook the symptoms of major depression compared to their treatment of clients with other racial or ethnic backgrounds.
Wow.
Interesting statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Black children are overdiagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder relative to white peers, which promotes poorer educational and health outcomes. Racial discrimination as well as cultural norms can prevent access to quality mental health care. Cultural upbringing shape our perspective on mental health, on mental illness. In some cultures, here I get tongue-tied again, mental illness is more stigmatized and may be viewed as a source of shame rather than a legitimate health concern, which we see over and over in some of these other cultures, predominantly. And it still can be a shame in our white and Caucasian culture, but we're growing more up to understanding that as we gain ground. So what can be done to achieve mental health equity? Restructure programs and services that support mental health equity. Promote culturally responsive care. This is actually huge because and you may not know, my background is actually a clinical social worker. And in the social work field, we're actually taught in a little bit different realm to be very culturally sensitive, culturally heightened. And that's actually one of the key components that we look at when we're being taught and doing that as well as you transition into the private practice. But anyway, it's just a whole cultural sensitivity is something that's very, very important when you're looking at mental health, and that doesn't just include race. It can include spirituality. It can include all sorts of things.
Sure.
So integrate mental health care into primary care. Now I'm getting distracted. It doesn't take much. Increase funding for the education and ongoing training of mental health professionals. Make mental health care more affordable. That's a huge thing. It can be costly, and sometimes people just can't afford it. Offer culturally sensitive services. All right, so when celebrating Juneteenth, it is important to be aware that it is more than just a holiday. It's central to Black American mental health and well-being because it's defined by Black humanity and liberation. The American Counseling Association in 2021 provides 3 guidelines for supporting Black mental health in honor of Juneteenth. Okay, so these 3 things are actually promoted through our American Counseling Association. Listen to Black voices. Juneteenth is about centering and celebrating Black liberation and the Black American experience. Seek out rallies, articles, stories, artwork, poetry, readings, music, and social media accounts, and Black-owned businesses that offer rich, authentic Black perspectives to learn from. So be aware. I mean, everybody can be culturally sensitive and just learn more. Respect Black spaces. Juneteenth isn't just a Black holiday, it's an American holiday. It's a date that is part of our history and that every American should learn about and honor. However, for those of us who are not Black, especially white people, it's important to remember that supporting Black mental health means not dominating or appropriating Black voices and spaces. Work to bolster, not burden. Aim to amplify and not invade. Okay? Learn your history. Honoring Juneteenth and respecting Black identity means working to fill the significant gaps in our knowledge of American history. Look for documentaries, books, workshops, professional development, seminars, and other educational opportunities that will challenge your understanding and beliefs as they relate to race in America. So, I mean, if there's anything that you can take away from this today, I really want you to be aware that culture sensitivity is huge for everybody, and especially in our mental health, you know, and in my background, it's just very, very important to understand that and understand that things are overdiagnosed because people aren't aware of the cultural background. People aren't looking into that, and underdiagnosed because we're not looking at the cultural background of things. Right. And absolutely. So, you know, if you're looking for mental health treatment, you're looking for therapy, be aware that the therapist you're looking at is culturally sensitive. And I'm not saying that not all of them aren't. I mean, that's just something you may want to ask. Do they understand whatever culture you're from? Right. A little more. And that's just definitely something to look at. So as always, guys, at Hope Counseling, we're here to help you with offices in Comanche, Dublin, Eastland, and Hamilton. 325-356-1105, 325-356-0075. And I will see you next Monday.
With a bull riding report.
Out of Blanket, Texas. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Again, Hope Counseling at Texas, Comanche, Eastland, Hamilton, and Dublin.
All right, Cynthia Newton, as always, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.